So where did it all start for you with the therapy?
It's hard really to say when it started. When my father came back from the East as a prisoner of war after the Second World War, he talked about urine therapy, that they didn't have medication in the war, in the end of the war, or then in the East, and they used urine. And doctors then said, here, use urine. That's the only thing to disinfect wounds and to heal wounds, and to heal wounds much faster and have much less pain. And so using urine for treatment or to stay healthy was really from my early childhood on. I was when I was young in Upper Bavaria and had an injury, and I should have needed a tetanus injection. And this farmer said, wee on your finger. You still can see here this scar. And I said, no. I was in this conflict. On one side, you wash your hands before, after wee, and before meals and so on, before you touch any food. And on the other fellows, he said, wee on it. That was the first time that I was confronted with it. And he said, it doesn't hurt anymore, and it heals much faster. And you shouldn't need tetanus now. You go later to a doctor and maybe do what you want. Okay, I weed on it, and really the pain, it was a short burning, and the pain was gone. And so I thought that's quite a good thing. Then you hear it from all the soldiers during my younger life and so on. If a soldier was fallen, you had shoes, there was nothing left in the end of the war. You took the shoes of your fallen comrade, and if your shoes were not as good, you swapped shoes and things like that. So simple things what never that I never ask, is urine a good thing to use for health, or even to fit shoes or disinfect shoes or whatever, So the bigger things then came when I wrote about water. My book title was Water Medicine, where I have in first line this Kneipp therapies, how to make your own herbal treatments with water, water treatments with herbs and so on. Pretty common knowledge. Father Kneipp lived here in Germany, and Mediquare equivalent pays for treatments with water treatments, with Kneipp cure, we call it, the Kneipp cure. There's a big institute. I think 80,000 people work as Kneipp therapists in Europe alone, if I have this figure right out of my head. And it's so simple, working with water. And then I came across this, our water, the water of our body, and heard about the first World Conference of Urine Therapy, and found about a fellow in America who did a very good story about urine, what for you all can use it. And I wrote to this author of this article, may I please have some of your research in my book, Water, only as a little thing, the book becomes rounder. It's only about water treatment, herbal baths and compresses, and so all hot water, ice and so on. But this urine, that sounds pretty good to me. And I like this really, the story. And he said to me, oh, no problem, you have copyright, no problem, but either the full thing or nothing. Okay, in a 120-page booklet, you have 16 pages from another author. But I like the stories. I put it in the book. And then came my big disappointment. I was used with my first book, Earth Race, and after my biggest, what I have now in 14 languages, kombucha, I was used to run forward and get this good feedback. But with my water book, I got nearly no response, no feedback from water medicine, from that message what I wanted to tell. But this big bang with urine, everyone would, great, your story with your urine. I said, no, it's not my story, it's somebody else's. So I think, out of my head, maybe now until now, 95% of feedback to the water from the water book came from this urine story, and not from my own water book. So I decided to go to India, to the first World Conference in 1996, it was, and said I have to learn more about this juice. This is a very special juice, and learned a lot in India. And then immediately afterwards, I said, that is a better message as my water book, and wrote, of course, my first book, Urine, the Holy Water.
Why do you think urine's so effective?
I know that during my life I had to give several times urine to a doctor for checking what is in the urine. I learned now afterwards we have approximately up to 2,500 ingredients in urine, and we know only about 800. So what is so special? In this 800 we have the antidotes against the problems what we have in our body. The doctor finds the antidotes and then says, okay, you have this disease because we found that in your urine, or before hundreds of years ago in Tibetan medicine you view the urine, you smell the urine and so on, but today we have this wonderful possibilities to analyze it, but still a problem that most of the ingredients we don't know. So when I was bitten by a poisonous snake, I had to give my urine, but still they couldn't exactly say what kind of snake it was to give me the right venom. And it took so much time. I'm 100% sure that I would be dead without urine. So it's very special juice. Whatever problem we have, our body automatically produces the antidotes, so the medicine, what we need. And therefore, in cases when people have a health problem, why not take urine first and not as last resort? Some people go from doctor to doctor, from practitioner to practitioners, and treat chronic diseases and so on. I like this word anyway. What's chronic? Like a coincidence is wonderful things as well. For 20 years, and then they start with urine therapy like allergies. You know, it's so easy to treat allergy to a very high percent. There is not this 100% in nothing, but when you have a very high percentage of successful treatment in a disease, and then urine says, okay, with your high fever and so on, you have 70, 80, maybe 90%, then I think it's a quite good medicine. Better as, I don't want to talk about modern medicine, but very effective, yeah. You never should talk negative about anything, yeah. I have to laugh about the whole thing. If something is free, then nobody will advertise for it. Who spends money to advertise what everyone can use and help themselves? Only in situations like in war, after the end and after the Second World War, you wouldn't believe it how many doctors said, yeah, take urine, because they had nothing else, or take certain herbs. I remember that my father said there was somebody with leg ulcers and carbuncles and so on, and the doctor said, yeah, take dandelion. Dandelion is, in my opinion, saved once my life as well. I was long in hospital and couldn't walk anymore, but it's a different story. But and my father said to the doctor, a friend, yeah, why didn't you tell before? That you help, would have helped this person long before. He said, yeah, at that time we still had medicine. And the dandelion worked much faster. So it's free, it's everywhere. Go around here, or in Australia we have in some areas this Taraxacum officinalis, this shiny leaf dandelion, but the hairy leaf dandelion, what is native in Australia, works the same way, high in inulin actually for diabetes. Why do the Aborigines have now diabetes and so on? It's always the same thing. So the problem with urine therapy, the first problem is, it costs nothing. Everyone has it free, and it is no medicine fits so good to this particular person as their own urine. Of course, there are exceptions. With urine, there's possibly urine from others for certain reasons. But number one, when urine is cheap, costs nothing, who would advertise it? And our pharmaceutical industry would go broke, and the governments would have a lot of money more for helping maybe other people. Building maybe, we don't need so much hospitals anymore. I could, several doctor friends said we could save 30 till 50% of hospital beds. So don't build hospitals, do something nice. Maybe old people, I'm getting older, support them, but I don't need support anyway, because I help myself.